Now, royal subjects, gather around. We have a special guest today in the palace. Reek, this don't necessarily apply, but I'm gonna make it apply. How many royal families are there in wrestling?
So a wise man once said that wrestling has more than one royal family.
Yes, sir. And this one, I think, Dio Bando said it best on Young Kings Wrestling. This is their family business. A branch from the Anoa'i family tree, formerly known as Manu in WWE, son of Afa of the Wild Samoans, nephew of Sika of the Wild Samoans, owner of Battlefield Pro Wrestling, leader of The Office. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you, Samoan Storm, Afa Anoa'i Jr. Welcome to the palace, Afa.
My God.
How we
Yeah.
living?
That was a
Yes,
hell of an
sir.
intro. Thank you. Thank you for that. All
Gotta
right.
get
Thanks for having
it.
me
Of
on.
course, man.
And yeah, it's a long time coming. I know you guys been running a couple shows with a couple of my guys, and yeah, it's been a long time coming now.
Yeah, man. It's
Absolutely.
fun. Appreciate those guys, man. Welcome aboard. Seen everybody was there in Vegas, of course, this past year. We are headquartered in Vegas. So
Hmm.
I didn't get the goals. I got booked on like some other photo stuff. I seen like the thing you guys were doing at the event center downtown. It was looking nice. I was like, dang, if I had a moment, I'm gonna stop in here. But it was looking fun, man. How was that?
Yeah, no, Vegas was a lot of fun this year. It was always a great time to, link up with the family and see all the Fatus and everybody out there on the West Coast. And, it's always a good time to be around that many wrestling fans, especially for all the excitement of WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah, that was live. That was live.
Hell yeah,
Appreciate that.
for sure, for sure. And real quick, and I talked about this. So a couple years back, you had a little bit of a health issue and everything like that. You had to step away for a little bit. So first and foremost, how's Afa doing health wise and everything like that? I know you got back in the ring and everything like that, but
Yeah.
just generally, how you been doing so far since then?
Well, shit, life after 40 is a little different.
Yeah,
So, but yeah, no, we've been doing good health wise. I'm feeling good. I've been doing a lot more in the ring lately. I just got to get my weight down now. You know what I'm saying? And but that's always a work in progress with me. And my Samoan genes, we like to eat. But nah,
yes,
Good,
but
sir.
good,
I
man.
feel good. You know what I mean? And yeah, I feel good, and that's the most important thing is I feel good.
Definitely,
For
definitely.
sure, man.
All right, so Battlefield. Now we said it in the intro. This is y'all's family business, and
Mhm.
I'm biased, but I think it's no question y'all do it better than anybody in terms of family businesses. But how did Battlefield come together? We know you had your time in WWE. We'll get to that, but how did this particular promotion come together for you guys?
Yeah, so Battlefield has always been a work in progress for me. I started it about 10 years ago, maybe a little bit longer. We ran a couple shows back then. We just ran 3 shows then just to test the waters, test the territory a little bit. I ran it in the same area, in the Pleasant Valley area in the Broadheadsville town. Um, but it was just a waiting game for me because fresh out of the WWE, I moved back to Pennsylvania, and my brother Samu was running the Wild Samoan Training Center in Allentown, and I wasn't living too far from there. So it was kind of like a conflict of distance, not interest, but distance. I wasn't, we were too close to each other, so I kind of just waited my turn until, my brother got older and started slowing down with the training and stuff like that. So I was very patient with that. But yeah, I tested the waters a little bit 10 years ago. We ran 3 events. We killed it with those 3 events. Our first show had Brodus Clay versus Carlito in the main event. You know what I mean? Like we had a lot of a
Nice.
lot of people. We had Ted DiBiase Jr. on our shows. We had Tommy Dreamer on our shows. We had Snitsky. We had Carlito. We had all kinds of people on those shows back then. But that was a test in the water. And then it helped me focus for, make some cuts and push where we needed to push and to get it so that we could run it monthly. And then we, doubled up and now we're running it twice a month. You know what I mean? This month we have 4 shows in 4 weeks. So we're really pushing it now. And we're hitting our stride.
For sure,
Awesome,
man.
man. So in those last 10 years, give me like some of your favorite success stories that have come out of Battlefield Pro Wrestling. Any wrestler that you saw come up and make it elsewhere
Yeah.
in the business and get their money or get their notoriety of any names that stick out.
Yeah, for sure. So it was a long 10 years, but we've only been really running for the last three. You know what I mean? Like I
Okay.
had to take some time off in between there. So we only ran three shows that first year, and then that took what, 7 years off.
Okay.
I had to go through some personal things, battling for custody and stuff like that, drain the bank accounts a little bit. I couldn't get where I had to go. But we're here now. So
Yeah.
out of these last 3 years, I want to say it like that. I want to put it, as the new Battlefield run, which is the last 3 years. So the last 3 years, man, we've had a lot of success come through talent wise. We had Matt Cardona versus Casey Navarro when right at the height of the pandemic, when Cardona was white hot on top of everything.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
Casey Navarro is one of our success stories. He came in and we put him on the national map, and he was our first champion, and now he's in TNA and NXT and all this stuff. And we also had Lance Anoa'i's final match in the Independence before he took off to the WWE land. We had Jacob Fatu's last match in the Independence before he took off. You know what I mean? So we're blessed in that way to have the family come through, as well as people like Casey Navarro and Spencer Slade, who's blowing up right now in NWA, and Phil Insane, who's one of our students who's now blowing up in the deathmatch scene. Like we got guys blowing up all over the place, and it's a testament to their hard work and dedication because it's not easy to train here in the battlefield. And I tell them these guys that as soon as they walk in the door, like I'll get you where you got to go, but it's not going to be easy, but it will be worth it.
Yeah, sink or swim.
Yeah.
That's that
Hmm.
Yeah.
sink or swim mentality, man. Love to hear that.
For sure, for
Part of
sure.
the
And
family.
yeah, man. And personally, I always appreciate having it out here because like I've lived up in this area since I was like 5. So
Yeah.
having y'all be able to just drive like 15 minutes and catch some good wrestling is always dope for sure. Well, of course, we talk about the family. These last 5 years, I don't think the entire family has been put on the spotlight the way they have been with Roman, with Jay, with Jimmy. Now you've got Solo and Jacob. So, what's it been like for you to watch since 2020? The I guess to say emergence of the Anoa'i family to the broader audience who didn't see how deep y'all really were.
Man, we've been here before. Y'all just didn't know. We did this bloodline thing before when it was Yoko and the head shakers and my pops, and
They
we
did.
did this whole thing before. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? We just
That
kept
was
it on the
before my
low.
time.
But now it's blown out of proportion and everybody knows, So I mean it's great. And we worked for this. It's not like, this just came out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like we were slept on for so many years. Like my pops and all them back in the day, they should have made way more money than they actually did. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
however, nowadays we getting ours now. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't like it, but it's time that people recognize what got the WWE to where they are, because at every point in the WWE's highest earnings, it's always been someone in our family on top, which is crazy.
It had.
Big fact,
Nah,
man, for
yeah. Now
sure.
that you mentioned that, now I think about it, like, yeah, because like when I started watching, you had The Rock, then you had,
Mhm.
Roman coming
And it
in
goes in
like
its
around the
dips, and you
time.
know what I mean. But when we're really rocking, when they really pushing us, they cruising, they cruising to the bank.
Facts, man. Everybody love it too. I
Hell yeah.
seen a few weeks ago Rikishi was saying like, man, I would join the Bloodline storyline. Afa, you got any interest in maybe joining in with the family? You see what they've been doing. They bringing in everybody. They bringing in the family, friends, and bringing in the Tongans too. Like, do you
Yeah,
have any interest in maybe joining the Bloodline storyline? Because it's never gonna end. I think we all have accepted that now. It's gonna keep
Yes.
going. So
yeah. I
it's room
mean,
for you there somewhere.
yeah, the room is there. There's always room for me, and it makes sense. With everything that they got going on with the people that I have history with, from CM Punk to Cody Rhodes and all them guys,
Mm-hmm.
like it makes sense. So anything could happen. I always say this, and anything could happen in the battlefield, but the same is true with the World Wrestling Federation, Entertainment, WWE. Anything could happen. So we'll see.
Facts, man. Any gems that you willing to share? Not even just like wrestling business wise, but just life gems you've been willing to share from just growing up in the business for 40, right? So
Yeah,
for 40 years, you were born into it.
yeah,
Anything you just, kind of took that you were able to apply to your life journey, just in general.
yeah. Just be patient with life. Life is a beautiful thing. If you sit back and enjoy the ride, don't be so anxious to live life. Enjoy the journey. And that's what I always tell my guys is enjoy the journey because you're gonna reach the mountaintops one day and you're gonna look back and you'll be like, man, it wasn't the top that was the best. It was the ride. You know what I'm saying? So enjoy the journey while you guys are chasing whatever it is that you guys are doing.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Cause like
For sure.
I think about it, cause now I'm going on 33, about like 2 months. Nah, damn. See, yeah,
Same.
a month, a month and a half from now, I'm going on 33. So it's like you think about it, it's like, man, it's just passing you by. But like
Yeah,
that's something I always have to tell myself, like, man, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Like you get to it when you get to it, everything out here will be there for you when
yeah,
you get to that point. So yeah, I
Mhm.
appreciate that because like
yeah, yeah.
it's something but you got to hear it from other people that have been around and
Well,
really like
everybody's
made
always in
it.
a rush this day and age. And
Yeah,
I
Right.
deal with a lot with students. They're always in a rush. They feel that they're the best here and they want to be the best there and they want to be in the WWE and they want to be there and then you know you'll book them against someone of that caliber and then those guys will run circles around these guys and it's a big eye opener. You know what I mean? So it's
yeah,
just like, whoa, slow down,
Yeah.
enjoy this thing. You know what I mean? Because the more experience you guys are getting now, the more ready you are to be when you get there, the more value you're going to be when you get there. You know what I'm saying? And it's a
mhm,
business, and you got to be able to conduct yourself. You don't want to go in there blind and be like, "Oh man, I wish I knew that going into it." Well, you have a chance to learn, what to do here and how to act on the road and stuff like that to be successful. And that's not a lot. That's not very common these days in wrestling training. There's too many Mickey Mouse, mom and
For
pop
sure.
kind of wrestling places that pop up, and nobody on the roster's been anywhere, and no one's ever heard of their trainer and stuff like that. And that's not to say that they're not passionate about what they do. It's just their approach is wrong. You know what I mean? And if more people took it seriously and went to a credible school, or we look at wrestling schools like it's almost like a university kind of situation.
Hmm.
Get yourself a good degree from somewhere credible, and then let your degree let your trainers open the doors for you, that sort of thing. You know what I mean? Because it means a lot saying, okay, I was trained by Harley Race, or I was trained, at Flatback's gym, or I was trained by the Hearts, or I was trained by the Samoans. Like that'll open some doors for these guys that they don't
mhm,
really that all these other places won't get, just by saying, I was trained by the Samoans, but with that comes big responsibility too, because we have a standard that we've established throughout the years with all our world champions and everything that we've trained. And so it's a lot of it's heavy for our guys,
mhm.
but it gives them that fire too, because they're representing that fraternity of greats.
Yeah, man.
Sure. Sure. They building resumes.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
so so obviously, like we said, you old school. You've been living this business. And so just recently, and I just watched it all the other day, Netflix dropped the documentary WWE Unreal, where they just peeled the whole curtain back and letting everybody in the kitchen. So for you being an old school guy, how did you feel about that whole thing? Kind of just letting people into the gimmick.
I mean, you could teach people how to do magic all day, but that don't make them a magician. You know what I'm
True.
saying? You can show them how to do the tricks all day, but they'll never understand it that from the way we do. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like, okay, everybody knows how movies are made, but you still go watch the movie.
Right.
So it's
said
just
the
it's
same
it's
thing.
where we are these days. I
Mhm.
don't I don't necessarily agree with it. You know what I mean? Because I've grown up and watched my dad protect this thing to the death. You know what I'm saying? Like so, but it's where we are in today's age. But you could watch all you want, and you could think but you won't know.
Right.
Right. I said that too because it's like I can still enjoy it because at this stage, things like you said, there's so much that's out there already that if you've been watching long enough, it's like you just pick it up after a while.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
for me, I just enjoyed the process. No, I think
But
that's
it's eye opening too for the general public to see how much goes into a 5 minute segment on
right.
Raw. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so much that goes through that stuff. It's kind of yeah, it exposes it, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it just shows you the quality of talent that these guys are. They're top notch, and they could act, they could be athletes, they could keep composure, they could keep kayfabe for the night, I guess. You know what I mean? Because you don't have to keep it
Yeah.
too long. You only got to keep it for the night, I guess, nowadays. But
Yeah.
but
Oh yeah.
No, because I said the same thing. Like I watch, like I've made movies before. I've made shorts and stuff. So like to see the behind the scenes of how things work on movies, that doesn't ruin a movie for me. So I
right.
don't understand when people is like, oh, this is ruining. Like we already know people is people out there that are paying money
Yeah.
to get news that's not always accurate from these sources anyway. So
Man,
it's like,
don't get me started
like
on
what's the
that.
difference between that and the WWE actually showing y'all the actual process? What's the
It's
difference?
the it's a new era. You know what I mean? Nobody's believing like the heart punch is not selling out 10,000 seats these days. Nobody's gonna believe that if I punch you in your heart, it's gonna kill you. You know what I mean? Unless I kill a few
Right.
people doing that thing, and those days are gone.
Right.
Especially with
Yeah.
social media, because you got all these wrestlers and everybody thanking each other for doing business after matches and stuff like that, and taking pictures at the Waffle House with each other, and you know what I mean. So it's like social media kind of killed the business in a way, but
Mm.
they kind of put the icing on the cake though with the the whole exposing thing. But again, you could watch behind the scenes all day. Not everybody's going to watch the behind the scenes nor care about the behind the scenes. They just want to see the finished product.
Yeah.
You know.
Facts, for sure,
Facts,
sure,
man.
man.
So I want to touch on your run with WWE for a bit. You had a brief run on Raw.
Mhm.
Uh, when I went to go look, it was a lot shorter than I remember. Like I feel like you were there for a long time, but I also like knew who you were from your developmental run. So
Right.
like I was kind of familiar with that. Let's fill us in a little bit on your time on the main roster. Like how was that just like from the outside looking in again? Like, obviously like, we got to be there to know, as you
Right.
just
Yeah.
said, but like just kind of fill us in a little bit on like how that was like finally kind of making it to that stage.
Well, coming from developmental, it was basically coming from the indies. So it was like I was hungry, very hungry for that. You know what I mean? We all, as we all are, there's 50, 60, 100 of us or whatever the case may be now in camp. And we're all fighting for X amount of spots that are available. So when those spots become available, it's like you got to go, man, and you got to be able to go and keep going, and as long as you can, because it
Yeah.
doesn't
Hmm.
last forever. You know what I mean? Like I remember, like it was yesterday. I was shopping for just some business casual clothes to wear to shows and stuff like that because that was a dress code back then. I was trying to get some dress code compliant clothing for because I would just wear sandals, and I'm an island boy. I'd wear the sandals and board shorts and I'd be cool. But
Yeah.
they're a multi-billion-dollar company, so you want to look the part. But yeah, I was shopping when I got the call from Creative and said they told me that I was going to debut at Unforgiven. And they didn't really tell me much about it other than I was going to go in, with Cody and um, Teddy Jr. So I was fired up. However, I wasn't too fired up because I seen people go up, get the call up, get planned, and then they cancel plans and stuff like that, right while you're in gorilla position and stuff like that. So it wasn't really real to me until I was in gorilla and Teddy and Cody are in the ring and I'm waiting for my cue and then they gave it to me. You know what I mean? And like
Yeah.
that's when it really clicked, like that it's go time. You know what I mean? So I I,
Hmm.
I handled myself pretty well because they put me in the ring. I mean, from the time I was there to the time I was gone, I wrestled straight main eventers all the way through. It was John
Mhm.
Cena, Batista, Triple H, Rey Mysterio, CM Punk. Like those are the guys that I was working every single week. And it was, that and the house shows too, but from the time I debuted, from the time I was gone, I was on everything, every single TV and every single live event. So that's why it felt like I was there much longer than I really was because I was just everywhere and I was taking it all in and doing as much of it as I could and living that lifestyle for as long as I could.
Yeah, and working with those top guys too. Like the main top guy you work with was Randy Orton,
Yeah.
and like I enjoyed that run around that time. So like with the legacy run, I don't know if he was still doing the IED crazy stuff around that time or not yet. But like, how was that experience? Is there anything like you learned from working with Randy? Because he's still like in his 20s at this time, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he
So
was just coming
Yeah.
off of like a shoulder injury or something like that. You know, but yeah, working with Randy, lessons learned. Don't trust everybody, man. You know what I mean? Don't
Mm.
trust everybody. That's lessons learned from him.
okay, you don't gotta say no more.
I gotta bring this up because
All
I
right, go
told
ahead.
TC and our boy Malik who brought me on the pod. I actually met you a couple years back. I don't remember what promotion it was, but my boy Mike, he was working. It was at the Sherman, and he
Okay.
had won a battle royal that night. We went to Mountain Creek later,
Yeah.
and you was with them. And I asked you, I was like, oh shit, that's what I knew right there. I'm like, yo, how was it like working with Orton? You remember what you said that night?
Probably something like fuck him or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, something along
Yeah.
those lines.
Yeah, that was
So,
that story. I was like, oh, okay. All right.
yeah, but it is what it is. You live and you learn.
Yeah,
Hey,
I hear you. I hear
hey.
you.
No, big thanks. Big
But
thanks.
you got any in that brief time? Any stories from the road that you have? Like, everybody's got little shenanigans, little stuff they get into,
Yeah,
stuff like
mine.
that on the
So I
road.
didn't really get into too many shenanigans when I was on the road because I got into plenty of that in developmental. So I was already like the captain of the football team with a couple strikes
Mhm.
on him before he even got there. You know what I mean? So I kind of flew straight when I was there. The stuff that sticks out to me is like kind of storybookish. It was like my first singles match um in on Raw was against Batista, which is another Wild Samoan graduate. Um, so that was pretty cool. I ended up winning the FCW heavyweight title during developmental when I was down there, and I beat Billy Kidman for that, who was another Wild Samoan graduate. You know what I mean? So I kind of like had little couple storybook moments with stuff like that went down. So yeah, those are two things that stuck out to me is just wrestling the Wild Samoan guys, on the national level.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I can see like just coming full circle. Like you kind of work with these guys back then, and now you get into it on a bigger scale. So I can't imagine how that feel, man.
Man,
I'm
it's
gonna
it's it's
circle back
pride.
to
It's proud just to know that, my dad trained us all. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, and here we
Yeah.
are at the biggest level, and I'm
that's
having
hard.
monumental matches. Like my Raw debut was against a Wild Samoan guy. My first ever WWE title was against a Wild Samoan guy. Hell, my first WWE match was against a Wild Samoan guy and Tommy Suede, who was, signed to
Mm.
developmental at the time. So it was like I just kept getting those storybook movie type moments that were just blessings, I guess. And when I look back at them,
It's hard, man.
That's what's
I'm
up,
gonna
man.
circle back to legacy and
mm,
Cody Rhodes specifically. So like when you came up with Cody and the legacy, now he's like everywhere. Like we talked about the Unreal doc, the very first superstar you see on the documentary is Cody, who's
yeah,
sitting down for the interview. So like he is the guy. And
yeah,
like he took that like and just ran with it from the moment he came back. Like, did he always like display this sort of drive back when you guys were in Legacy, where he's just like,
yeah,
I'm gonna be him at some point in time. I'm gonna be him. I'm gonna be where John Cena is right now. I'm gonna
yeah.
be where these guys are.
You could kind of see it
Hmm.
the way with the way that the people move in the back. You know what I mean? Like he was when I was there. Like yeah, we were all young. He was there on the road for a little bit longer than me, so he was able to buddy up and ride with like Cena and these kind of guys. So he was always
Mhm.
kicking it with those kind of guys. Those the main eventers. So you kind of saw it coming. Because the way wrestling works, politically in the back is if your boys want to work with you, that's who gets to work with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Especially when it comes to those main eventers and stuff like that, because they hold on to their spots real tight.
yeah,
Yeah, for
we know,
sure.
we know about that.
We beat that. Oh man. All right. So just to get back to Battlefield really quick, uh, we've had a few of your guys on here,
Mhm.
and one in particular you had quite a bit of history with. Your boy Kode Red had some words to say about the office, about everything. And we saw, you know, at least I did. I got to see you guys just kind of go at it, hash things out. You got any responses to Kode and them out there?
Yeah, Code just, you know, he needs to keep his focus and keep his eyes on whatever prize that he's running for, and he needs to leave me alone. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I created him and I can end him. You know what I mean? And I showed you guys that. I made Code disappear for how long? You know,
Yeah, it
and
was a minute.
everybody was talking about free Code this and free Code that. However, I brought him back, you know, so he needs to, you know, bend the knee a little bit when it and ease up when it comes to the shit talking with me, because you don't bite the hand that feeds you too hard, especially when he's a savage.
That's a fact. That's a fact. That's not the family to do that with.
No, no.
Hey.
And I know Code, you know what I mean? We go way back, you know.
Yeah.
So and at the end of the day, it's nothing personal. Like he may not like my movements with the people that I choose to be the face of the brand, you know. And he may feel that, you know, he's entitled to that because he was around from the start. However, that's not how this is. We don't do it on friendship. We do it on business. And that's what this is. And some lessons are taught the hard way. And he's finding that out. You know what I mean? He's one of our most popular guys. He's one of our more talented guys. But he's not ready to be the face of the place yet. You know, he's just not ready yet.
Okay. All right.
You ain't
And
ready.
yeah. Well, we saw you get in the ring for that big 6-man war that we had going on. You know how much longer you think you're gonna be getting in the ring?
Man, I could do this forever, you know. I just don't like to get in the ring too much here, you know, because at the end of the day, the battlefield is not my playground, it's theirs.
Right.
I still get bookings outside on the road and stuff like that. So I still get to play a little bit, you know. But it's not, the battlefield isn't for me, it's for them, you know. So it's their platform for them to shine. I'm involved, obviously. Everybody knows I own it and stuff like that. And I still need to get involved when I, you know, when I need to get involved. But um, I don't I don't envision myself wrestling in the battlefield too long. You know what I mean? So every time I do, it's kind of special because I don't want that spotlight. I don't want to be the promoter that books himself to be champion and all this stuff. You know what I mean? This is for them. This is for the kids. This is for those guys like Vinnie Mac and KC and Kode Red and these guys that really want to climb up out of here and make some noise, you know, because I know what the platform is. It's very similar to the WXW platform that my father created. And I know what that could do for someone's career. You know what I mean? So I take a lot of pride in using this to catapult people to the next level.
Sure, for
Love to
sure.
see that, man.
I
I
love the
know you
stories
guys.
being told too.
You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like
Like,
this whole
cause
like
like,
Dio Code thing is crazy.
yeah,
I love
yeah,
Code.
that
Don't get me
whole
wrong. I love him. He got a bright future. You know what I mean? But yeah, he needs to just focus
him
more
and
on what
him
he's
and
doing.
him and Dio was like that was like the first time like I legit like got popped by something that y'all did storyline wise. Like I was like, oh shit. Because
Yeah.
Dio's my boy. Like I see Dio in the gym for like the past couple years. So like I know him for a minute.
Mhm.
So watching that whole thing unfold and how it's been going down so far, like I love it. I've been dialed in, man.
Well, it's drama. Wrestling and
Yeah.
drama sells, you know. And
Mhm.
for the first 2 years, we didn't do no storylines. We had zero
Mm.
storylines for those first 2 years. It was like the only real storyline we did was KC versus Matt Cardona. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like we did
Uh-huh.
like feature storylines, but we didn't really do full card storylines like we are now. You
Yeah.
know, and like I'm pulling it back and I'm letting people see what I could do. You know what I mean, creatively, and I feel like people were kind of on the edge of their seats, and me as the booker and stuff like that, you know, creative guy, it gives me a lot of man, a lot of hope that we could keep doing this shit. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
and that we
Yeah.
could get bigger, and that once more people see our product, man, I feel like we could, you know, captivate a lot more than just a couple hundred people that we are.
Thanks, man. Y'all announced a
Awesome.
show out here in Vegas some months back, and then like I
Yeah,
know some things kind of got
yeah,
tangled up. Is there any update on that? Because I was hyped for it. I was ready for it,
yeah.
and
So
I
we
want to
had a
see it.
deal at the Mr. Olympia. We were supposed to run shows at the Mr. Olympia, the bodybuilding convention there in Vegas. However, my dad got sick in that time, and the timing wasn't right for me to make a big move like that during that time. So
Yeah.
Vegas is always on our, destination list. Like there's certain places like Florida, you know what I mean, and out there in Vegas. We don't want to go too far out west because there's Samoans out there, and this is territorial.
Oh
Right.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
we don't step on too many toes, So but yeah, no, Vegas is definitely a possibility, and I'm hopeful that we'll get that back in the future. It just the timing wasn't right, to run it and to go through with it while my dad was, in his final days.
Oh yeah, understandable, man. So
Gotcha.
whenever you guys make that move, I'm here. I'm ready. Just let me know. I'm gonna be there.
Yeah.
Sure.
Hell yeah.
Y'all
Hey,
need
man.
anything? I do photography, ringside. So like, just let me know. I'm there for
I
you.
know. Well, Vegas
Uh,
Mania is coming back to Vegas this year, and I know a lot of wrestling goes down. So it's
yes,
only a matter of time before we pop up. That's for sure.
facts,
Hell
man. We
yeah.
need that. Hey, so a couple more things, and we're gonna get you up out of here, man. Got SummerSlam this upcoming week, and we got a battle, a cage match for the U.S. title, Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu. Now, if you're willing to give a prediction on the winner,
Oh,
or if you
prediction,
can, you
man.
can
All
stay
right, bet.
neutral
Ready for this
if
one?
you want to.
All right.
Go ahead.
If you in Vegas, so you gotta bet on the money line. So bet on my cousin.
There we go.
There you go. Bet on my
Yeah.
cousin.
Say less.
And I don't like to give predictions or anything like that, especially with between the family, But if I were to pick one, if I wanted to pick one right now, Solo's on fire. Solo is on fire. However, so is Jacob. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And I feel like Jacob's time is coming. I just don't know if it's just yet. So take that.
That's cool. It's
Take
still
that and
early.
run with it.
It's
It
crazy
is
because it's like it feels like longer, but he's only been there but a year on
a
TV so
year and
far.
some change.
They're grooming him to be, let Jacob cook.
Yeah.
The longer they let him grow, the better off it's going to be for everybody because Jacob is a one of a kind talent. You know what I mean? And just
Sure.
seeing that from working with these guys in the family and stuff like that, and seeing them all come through and work for me. You know what I mean? Jacob's a
Mhm.
special talent.
Yeah. And I like how Solo's kind of showing some range now. Like he goes from being like the
His
just the
personality is
stoic, the
shining.
bodyguard guy, and now we getting some comedy out of him. Like
Yeah.
that's
King of
that's good.
comedy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
his personality is shining through, and that's the same. That's true with all the Fatu boys, man. Jimmy, Jay, Solo, all of them. They all got that, and that I don't know, just to pop you in the car, kind of, mentality. Like
Mhm.
they're one
Yeah.
for the boys. Like they entertaining as hell. They're funny as hell, and I'm glad that Solo's finally getting over you know, his silent run because nobody likes to be the big silent guy. I was him. I hated it. I'd rather be talking and letting the
Yeah.
people see my personality and stuff like that. So I'm glad he's getting his chance.
Yeah,
Sure.
of course, I'm sure like he trained out here at FSW, so I've seen him a couple times before he got signed. So
Hmm.
like seeing him come up from a warehouse with like 100 people, and we
Hmm.
all just like cramped up in these bleachers. Like I don't know if you ever been to FSW, it's small in there, but
Well,
Mhm.
yeah,
just
most
seeing
most
him,
places most places are.
yeah, seeing him come from there to being at WrestleMania in the main event, being the guy who's responsible for Roman retaining in the main event. Like
Yeah,
I was like, dang, I literally watched
Crazy.
him out here in a casino at the warehouse at the training center a couple times. Like
yeah.
that's dope to see that this guy's coming up. So I can't wait to see it for your guys out there in Battlefield, see where they make it. Dio Bando,
Mhm.
Kode Red, RJ Carnage,
Oh
everybody
yeah.
else. I'm eager for it, man. So
They getting out
anything
there.
else
Sure.
you
They
got?
getting out there now. I clipped their
Yeah.
wings. They all starting to fly now.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I had
Dio
to keep
Dio
Understood.
them in
told
for
us,
a little
man.
bit, but I'm clipping their wings and I'm letting the wrestling world see what we got now. And they're starting to take off. That man, RJ Carnage is one of the best wrestlers on the East Coast, and I'm
Yes.
proud. I'm
Sure.
proud that he's one of the hungrier ones that still comes to training, and you know, and he's trying to get out there, but he's not everywhere. Like he's going to some good places, and he's getting some good reps, and he's learning his craft, you know. And a lot of guys like Terry Adonis and what's her Kate Thorne and you know Tiffany Grady and SPF and you know all these guys, they're starting to really get out there and win championships all over the country, and I love it. I love seeing it. Even our newer guys like D Savage and stuff like that, they're holding it down out on the west coast of Pennsylvania, you know, out there in that Ohio area and stuff like that. Man, we're really stretching out now, you know. So, but it's a beautiful thing to see as a coach, you know, as the leader of the battlefield, to see all my soldiers out there. It's great.
Hell
Nice
yeah.
man. Yeah, Dio told us like you let him kind of get that sink or swim mentality, just like throw you into the deep end. You know,
Mhm.
the Macho Man said it, cream rise to the top. You
Yeah.
know,
Well,
and
Sir.
Dio
serve
had
prop.
training before he came to me. So Dio had
Yeah.
training and I guess kind of got put off with the business a little bit and just took some time off for.
Uh-huh.
And then I got on him and I was like, man, there's no time off. Like you either want this now or go figure something else out to do because, you know, you got to go. You got to go. And Dio's been one of those hungry guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's always in the gym working on his body. He's always out there trying to get better bookings and you know what I mean? And he's trying to work top tier talent like Vinnie Mac and Joey Martinez and he's piled up with those kind of guys, you know. So it's you only get better when you wrestle guys better than you know. So
Mm-hmm.
it's good that you have friends like that are all, you know, equal or you flip a coin on who's better one day.
Yeah, man.
And love to see it,
For
man. You
sure.
got
For
anything else
sure.
for Alpha Reek? That you know,
Um,
I'm out of questions.
yeah. I just got one more real
Yeah.
quick. Obviously we talk about, the bloodline goes on forever. I see, you got your kids that are around on the shows, they're around the talent, everything like that. Have any of them mentioned to you talking about maybe getting into the business one day or anything like that?
Yeah, man. So I just had uh my nephew or my cousin, it's Roman's nephew, Koa, who was Rosie's son. He was just here training for a couple weeks. And it was great because just having him around, you know, he's what, 17, 18 years old now. So, you know, he's getting in the mix. He's getting the itch. My son, Storm, he knows the basics. My daughter knows how to roll and stuff like that. I taught Storm a little bit how to bump. I don't want him getting too involved too early, you know, because at the end of the day, they have a free scholarship to a top wrestling university in the world. So they
Right.
could they could take their time. I want them to go to college. I want them to play their sports. You know what I mean? I want them to live their life and wrestling ain't going nowhere for my kids in particular. So I want them to, you know, reach for the stars, you know, and wrestling will always be here. So if they want that, you know, it's grind time. It's not going to be easy just because of they're on Hawaii's. It doesn't mean nothing. You know what I mean? It'll be
Right.
grind time when the time comes. But until that time comes, man, keep an eye out for them on the football field and softball field, and you know, and they're doing good in school too, which is something I didn't do. I wasn't that good in school, but they're honor rollers, and you know, I got
Hey,
some
there
good
you go.
kids.
There you go, man.
Hey man,
That's
love
what's
to hear
up.
it, man. Keep up the great work, and I
For
can't wait to
sure.
see them as well. I'm gonna be on the lookout because
Hell yeah,
that's
man.
how
My
I was.
son's 14 right now. He's 6 foot tall,
That,
you know, about 180. You know, he's
Jeez.
getting up there.
These kids today, man, I don't know what it is, bro. Like,
You know?
I know every generation get better, but it's like these teenagers that just like shoot out the gym is crazy.
Yep, yep. It's important
athleticism is
that, you
crazy.
know, that so my kids, I let them be kids. I let them play. You know what I mean? I didn't let them grow up too fast. And I feel like in today's day and age, that's hard to for these parents to do because a lot
Mm-hmm.
of parents they force their kids or not force them. It's just life situations are different. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I didn't want my kids to be like, all right, dad, I'm gonna wrestle and chase that shit like I did. You know, because I started at 13 and I pretty much knew I was gonna be a wrestler since 13 and nothing else mattered to me except for wrestling at 13. You know, so I didn't want that mentality for my boy. I wanted him to go out there and explore his options, you know, with football and baseball and stuff like that. And you know, and my daughter, she wants to go pro in softball because she's an all-star lefty, and you know, they're very talented kids, and I want them to whatever it is that they want to do to be the best at it. You know, like we are in wrestling.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
and shout out
That's
to the
what's up, man.
Anoa'i family tree, man. If people want to follow you on social media, where can they get at you, Afa?
And you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Samoan Storm. You can find us also on YouTube at Battlefield Pro Wrestling. We are Battlefield, BPW Futures. Man, we got a bunch of social medias and stuff like that. But yeah, look me up, Samoan Storm, the one and only with the check mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Big facts, man. Yeah, I seen
Yeah.
you had a match out here at in Vegas during WrestleMania weekend. I think it was like a 5-man, 6-man
Yeah, a couple matches
joint.
out there.
Yeah. So it was at the Swan Dive, which is like,
Yeah, for
yeah.
Oasis.
Yeah, that's where my guys Pride Style be at every month. So like I
Okay.
love checking out shows there. So I wish
Yeah.
I could have seen it, but like I told you, I had some other bookings going
Bro,
on.
so if
So
you've been to a show there, so you've seen that ring there.
yeah,
Now
is
imagine
on
eight
the floor.
Samoans.
Oh my
Imagine
God.
8 Samoans in one match in that ring.
That's insane. Cause like
It
that
was
there's
crazy,
literally
bro.
like no
We all
floor.
looked at each other like, there ain't no way. Ain't no way.
Right.
Bro, I came off the top. I did a splash in that ring.
I saw it.
I did a splash.
I
I don't
was just
know
like,
how.
Uh,
I
like
don't
you get
know
all these
how, but we
folks in
did
the
it.
ring. The ring small. Yeah. But no,
Yeah.
I checked it out on YouTube. It looked like it was a good time, man. So can't wait to see what else you do. In the meantime, we do appreciate you again. Uh, Royal Subjects, go ahead, follow Alpha, go follow Battlefield, go follow everybody we talked about that was mentioned from Battlefield,
mhm,
and go pay attention to what they're doing because you're gonna see them real soon on a
For sure.
national hit.
Yeah.
I guarantee that.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. And we're about
go
to make some
ahead.
noise anyways. In a couple of weeks, we're about to have a press release that's gonna shock some people. I
mhm.
promise you that.
Okay.
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 Okay. Say
You
less.
know?
Yeah, be on the lookout for that too. You don't want to miss that
Yeah.
news. Make
For
sure you
real.
turn their notifications on when you subscribe to really
Yeah.
get.
Facts.
And I might give you guys a little sample too once we stop recording.
Hey, say
Oh,
less.
ooh, okay. I'm
Say
in.
less.
I'm in.
Hey man, Afa Anoa'i Jr. This has been Wreak Havoc TC Fontaine with Young Kings Wrestling. And we out of here. Make sure you get you some merch. Shop.ykWrestling.com.
Yeah.
Go.
Deuces.